Hey, history buffs, let's dive into one of the most transformative periods of the 20th century. Today, I'm talking about the global wave of decolonization after World War II, and specifically, Nigeria's path to freedom. Picture this. It's the late 1940s, and the world is reeling from the aftermath of World War II. Empires that once seemed invincible were now on shaky ground. Colonies around the globe began to see an opportunity, a chance to break free from the yoke of colonial rule. The war had a profound impact. European powers like Britain and France were economically weakened and politically strained. They could no longer afford to maintain their vast empires. The spirit of self-determination was in the air, and nations that had been under colonial rule for decades were inspired by the idea of sovereignty and independence. In Asia, India had just gained its independence in 1947, an event that sent ripples across the world. Leaders in Africa, including Nigeria, were watching closely. They saw that change was possible. This was a huge morale boost for Nigerian nationalists. The success of India's non-violent resistance against British rule showcased a viable path to achieving independence. The United Nations also played a significant role. Established in 1945, it became a platform for discussing human rights and self-governance. The UN Charter emphasized the importance of self-determination, giving more legitimacy to anti-colonial movements worldwide. Now let's zoom in on Nigeria. Nationalist sentiments were already brewing before the war, but the post-war context turbocharged them. Nigerian leaders like Nnamdi Azikiwe, Obafemi Awolowo, and Ahmadu Bello took inspiration from global events and started to push harder for independence. These leaders were well-educated, often abroad, and returned home with ideas of democracy, freedom, and self-rule. They began to mobilize the masses through political parties, newspapers, and local organizations. The Nigerian youth movement, founded in the 1930s, gained momentum and became a powerful force in rallying public opinion against colonial rule. The British, recognizing the changing tide, began to make concessions. They introduced constitutional reforms in the 1950s, gradually allowing more Nigerian participation in governance. The process wasn't smooth, marred by ethnic tensions and regional rivalries, but the goal was clear: independence. On October 1st, 1960, Nigeria finally achieved its independence. It was a moment of immense pride and joy, but also a complex transition. The journey towards a unified, democratic Nigeria was just beginning, but the first monumental step had been taken. So there you have it. Nigeria's path to freedom was deeply influenced by the global wave of decolonization following World War II. The struggles and successes of other nations ignited a fire that Nigerian leaders and citizens carried forward to victory. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this dive into history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more insightful content. Until next time, stay curious.